It's day number 5 and we're still on floor number 3 of Ancient Inheritance. We're moving a little bit slower, and you should too, because if you picked up every single chest on floor number 4, you would still not have enough currency to buy out the shop. You don't need to get them all, but you do need to pick up a few chests on floor number 3 as well as clear floor number 4 to completely buy out the shop. Now this will be the final map I post for floor number 3. Again, I want to stress that it is important for every guild to find their own way. Come up with teams that work for your guild, especially if your guild has varying power levels or lower number of members. This is the pathing that worked best for us, but everybody's guild will probably vary a little bit. Now I'm on the gold team, so my job is to go and kill the North mini-boss and help kill the North Warden. So I'm going to grab the experience chest and a little bit of gold on the way. And yesterday I gave up the low-level old nib to try to get a better relic with the 4-leaf clover. Let's see if that pays off. And it did. I got the better old nib like I was hoping. So I will go ahead and take that. The 4-leaf clover gives me 3 chances at a rare. This is all 3 chances used up at once. So that 4-leaf clover is now no longer a functioning relic, so I can go ahead and replace it with the old nib. Now that north boss is a golem, so I want to go up there and hit it first because I've got a even better golem team than last time. Full credit to Derp from Veritas for that team. It does really well. First I'll grab this scroll since it's right here beside the mini boss. I'm going to take the one that gives me more experience points because I've got plenty of blue boxes to get those conversion gems. Before I hit the golem though, I'm going to snag this chest for a little bit more loot, and that pushes me up a level. So I should be able to raise my warriors up a notch or two. Make sure you're keeping up on your class enhancements. This is where all of your unit's stats come from. And if you're lagging behind on your class enhancements, you're going to have a lot of trouble fighting the bosses on these floors. Now I got warriors up to 11. I'm going to go ahead and raise my soul weavers up 2 because they're important for the survivability of the fight. I don't plan on using any rangers today, so I'm not going to put any points into rangers for now. So if your team wants to burst through these golem mini-bosses as quickly as possible, this is the dream team right here. You want to stick Rowana on there because these bosses counter a lot. It's kind of like the ice expedition where if you hit the boss so many times it counters, so Rowana is a great healer for this. I'll use Kitty Clarissa for the dual attacks, and I'm going to use Conqueror Lilias for the pushback, attack breaks, vigor, all the wonderful things she does. And I'm going to use Fire Ken because Fire Ken benefits from Conqueror Lilias' vigor. I move people around based on the imprints to make sure I'm getting the maximum benefit from the imprints. Here's how I geared the units. Fire Ken, since it's early in the fight, I put him on Portrait to get extra damage. You could run Symbol if the boss is below 50% health. Kitty Clarissa I put on Warhorn to help with her CR pushing and to give additional damage to the team. Conqueror Lilias I put on Border Coin to ramp up her speed. Her speed is high enough now with the warrior boosts that I think it's a worthwhile artifact for her. And Rowana I put on Stella Harpa because the boss does do some defense breaks. You could probably get away with Idol's Cheer or Shamadra's Staff as well. So I will speed this fight up because it's a long one. So Conqueror Lilias puts the Vigor buff on the entire team. The Vigor buff means Ken's defense break cannot be resisted. It won't even be 15%. It's a guarantee ignore ER hit. So Ken's going to constantly keep a defense break on the golem, while the dual attacks from Lilias and from Kitty Clarissa keep stacking up the damage. Anytime Ken gets a chance to soul burn, use it, because when Ken soul burns, he gets a second attack, and he does a good amount of damage from those attacks. Rowana is just there for her passive. You can occasionally pop her S3 for additional healing if you start getting hurt. I would save that skill just for when you're getting low on health. But My only regret on this is that I put Portrait on Ken. If I put Symbol of Unity on Ken, this would have been a full clear. I didn't expect to do 2 million damage in one run, but here we are. And with the health bar being below 50%, Portrait's no longer having any impact, Symbol of Unity would have definitely made this a full clear with just one run. Now, my Ken was wearing Rage Set, which helps a lot with damage, but still, you could run this team and just have 2 of your members full clear this boss, as long as your warriors are the same level as my warriors. So now it's time for my first Warden fight. This North Warden is a Dark Element Warden. The Dark Element Warden is the same as the Wardens on the previous floor, just a bit stronger. The Dark Element Warden will give a minus 15% penalty to every stat for every RGB unit. So you want to take light and dark units primarily. Ideally you want to take only light and dark units, but sometimes it can't be helped. That will give you the best possible chance in this fight because the Warden already does a lot of damage and you don't want to hinder yourself further by weakening your attacks and your tankiness. The South Warden on the other island is a Ice Warden, so for that fight you want to take Earth units, green units. All other units, all other elements, including light and dark, get the 15% penalty. I'll put some notes in the description about what are good unit and team ideas for fighting the Ice Warden and the Dark Warden. This is the team that I took into this fight. I wrestled with it for a bit, but I decided to give Blaze Dingo a shot. I put Shamadra's staff on him to boost his healing, and I gave him a pen set because he does pretty good damage. I'm taking Camilla in. Camilla's got just a rage set and a pen set, not a very good one. I gave her the Cradle of Life artifact, mostly because it's got an attack break on it. The linchpin of this team is Mediator Kawerik. I stuck him up front because he's pretty tanky. He brings an attack buff, a strip, shields. He's great for this fight. And for my DPS unit, I'm going to use J.Kise, mostly because she's got a defense break on her S1. And also because if I soul burn her skills, I get a second attack. So I have Mediator Kawerik activate his S3, which puts an attack buff on Camilla, allowing her to dual attack. Camilla's got a defense break on her S1, and J.Kise's got a defense break on her S1. I double checked before I started the fight to make sure that J.Kise had higher attack than anybody else on the team because I want her being the one that dual attacks. When Dingo gets low on health, I have him use his S3 skill. This protects the frontline unit and him from damage. It's great for those rounds where the Lich is doing single target attacks. And when all's said and done, I end the fight with just a little over 600k damage, which, being forced into only using light units, I'm pretty pleased with that score. Well, I've got 11 provisions left. I could hit the Lich again, but I'm going to hold off just in case my guild is able to complete it. I want to be able to make my way to the next item, so I'll move down a little bit just to position myself to where I'm closer to the teleport, but I can also hit the Lich one more time if I need to help clear this floor. Now, last thing I'll do is go ahead and enhance some of these nice drops that we get from Ancient Inheritance. This sword rolled really well. The speed rolls were a little low, but everything else was max, so I'm pretty happy with the sword. The boots were all low rolls, but at least they were in the correct stats, so the boots were usable. This piece, however, started out strong, and then rolled defense. And it rolled defense again. Over and over, it kept rolling defense. I was like, stop, but it wouldn't stop. So now I'm ready to go back to bed and cry myself to sleep over this piece, because who the heck can I use this on? Anyway, I'm sure the robot will find a place for it, but hey, at least I'm not this guy. 50% effectiveness. I'd flip all the tables over that. All of them. Anyway, if you're enjoying the content, give some likes and subscribes, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.